I'm not doing it. I don't care how cheap the lease is. I heard these things need a new battery at 60,000 miles.
And that's a $15,000 bill. No, thank you. Now, that's not a stranger. That's a real conversation a viewer told me about. His own neighbor trading in a perfectly fine EV, scared of a battery bill that never happened to him, might never happen to him, and honestly, statistically, probably won't happen to him. Let's light the fuse on this one. It's Bunk Blaster time. I understand where this comes from. A battery pack is often 30 to 40% of the cost of the entire battery electric vehicle. If that thing dies, you're not looking at a $400 alternator, you're looking at a bill that could literally total the vehicle. That's not paranoia, that's actually real math. Think of it like this. Nobody panics about replacing a headlight bulb, but everybody panics about replacing an engine. The battery is the engine of an EV, so it makes sense that it carries the same weight of a fear of a blown motor does in a gas car. So this fear is earned. The question is whether it's earned by your car or by a car that was built a decade ago. Here's the truth. I went looking for actual numbers, not internet vibes. Recurrent Auto, and there's a link to this company in the description below, and this is not a sponsored video. Recurrent Auto is a group that tracks real-world battery health across more than 30,000 EVs. And they found that across every year and every model, under 4% of EV batteries have ever been replaced. Not 40, 4. And when you break that down by era, the picture gets even clearer. First generation EVs, those made before 2016, have about an 8.5% replacement rate. Second gen EVs, 2017 to 2022, which includes early Bolts and early Model 3s, is down to about 2%. Modern EVs, which are 2022 and newer, 0.3%. That's not a typo. It's the same confusion, but a different car. The battery scare you heard was mostly written about cars from 2016 and earlier. And it's still getting repeated today by FUD-mongering, big oil bought and paid for cronies about vehicles that don't have that problem anymore. Now let's address the two recalls that everybody remembers. The Chevy Bolt and the Hyundai Kona. And they were real. I'm not going to pretend otherwise. I actually owned a 2017 Bolt when that happened. I had to do the battery replacement. I drove that car into the dealership nervous. I read the same scary headlines that you had. I wound up waiting for over 2 months on the battery. I parked the car outside while it was charging. I did not charge past 70%. I really did not know if I was about to get a fight, a bill, or the runaround. But when I picked up the car after the battery replacement, I had more range and a brand new battery pack. I did not pay one single penny when that happened. That's not batteries are a ticking time bomb. That's two companies had a defect and they fixed it, which frankly happens with gas engines and transmissions too. Ford dealt with recalls on the power shift transmission. General Motors dealt with the Duramax fuel pump failures. Nobody wrote 10,000 headlines calling gasoline engines a ticking time bomb over those issues. Now, did they? Somehow, ICE cars don't seem to make the news when they start burning on the side of the road because of a recall. Strange. Now, the question a lot of you ask directly, does it matter whether your battery is NMC or LFP? Here's the honest answer. Yes, on paper. LFP chemistry is rated for roughly double the charge cycles of NMC, and it tolerates full 100% charges without the same wear NMC takes. That's why some manufacturers are shifting to LFP for exactly this reason. I just wish the LFP density was as good as that of NMC. You're trading some range for that extra durability, but that trade-off is real. And here's the part that keeps it honest. Real-world reports aren't unanimous about this. Some LFP packs in the field have shown faster early degradation than expected, which points to something other than pure chemistry. How the battery management system is calibrated to report state of charge matters just as much as the chemistry itself. So if someone tells you LFP always outlasts NMC, full stop, that's not the whole picture either. The chemistry gives LFP an edge on paper, but the software behind it decides how much of that edge you actually feel. The battery time bomb fear isn't crazy, it's just yesterday's news. Recurrence data on 30,000 plus real EVs says the actual failure rate for anything built in the last 4 to 5 years is just a rounding error. LFP has a real cycle life edge over NMC on paper, but the battery management software is doing just as much work as the chemistry. Either way, the thing killing EVs in 2026 is not the battery dying. It's the fear of the battery dying based on a car nobody's driving anymore. I lived the worst case version of this story myself. A real recall, a real replacement, and I walked away with more range and $0 out of pocket. If the time bomb was ever going to go off on anybody, it would have gone off on me. And it did not. And as Paul Harvey used to say, now you know the rest of the story. Drop a comment below. If your EV's battery is degraded, tell me the make, model, year, and mileage. Let's build our own real-world data set in the comments. After all, your testimony is more powerful than a keyboard warrior comment coming from a pimply-faced troll living in mommy's basement. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I will see you out there or somewhere along the route from point A to point B. Take it easy, everybody. See you all real soon.